Hello guys, in this video I would like to discuss Leon Trotsky with you. And in Russian his name is actually pronounced Lev Trotsky, not Leo. Trotsky was a very interesting, complicated and controversial historical figure. If you think that he's just some Russian guy who lived 100 years ago, who cares? Well, that's not the case, because he is very influential to this day. His influence is great. It's really big. If you have heard of this political ideology, this very interesting, controversial sort of political movement known as neoconservatism. Well, the neoconservatives, aka neocons, they are modern-day Trotskyists, essentially. Trotsky is their Jesus. Also, one of the greatest modern-day science fiction writers, China Miéville, well, he is actually a Trotskyist, curiously. Well, Trotsky is a very complicated historical character, really complicated man. Every once in a while, I kind of read something about him. I read his writings, I read books about him, and there's kind of a new aspect that comes up every once in a while, and I'm just like, wow, whatever I used to think, that must be wrong. Now I get it. But yeah, really complicated man, really interesting man too, and really controversial. Well, essentially, Trotsky was competition for Stalin, and he lost. That's the simplest way of kind of summing up his life in one sentence. He was the guy who lost to Stalin. Essentially, when Lenin died, Lenin was the leader at first, but then sort of Stalin and Trotsky competed, and Stalin, as we know, won. And in 1933, Trotsky was exiled out of Russia. That's sort of his later life. And to talk about his early life, well, he was born in Ukraine, and he actually knew the Ukrainian language, and as a young man, he kind of spoke this mix of Russian and Ukrainian, kind of how I speak sometimes, when I speak in Russian, this curious mix. He knew both. He was born to a Jewish family, and at birth his name was actually Leiba Bronstein. That was his real name. And by the way, Karl Marx is not a real name either. His real name at birth was Mordechai Moses Levy, Samuel Trotsky. Kind of an interesting question. Well, how did he get his nickname Trotsky? Well, as a young man, he participated in these sort of politically radical, politically extremist circles, and he got arrested for revolutionary activity. And when he was in jail, there was a really harsh warden where he was jailed, and his last name was Troitsky. It was Trotsky, but with an I after O, Troitsky. And for some reason, our men chose to take that nickname, after his, jailer. He removed the I, and that's how he became Trotsky. Leo Trotsky. Let's get back to him in the next video.